Hey friends, Shannon, one of your Rezlife youth pastors here. And today we are starting a brand new series called Miracles and Parables. And over the next few weeks, we are going to be looking at some of the amazing miracles that Jesus did, and also some of the really cool stories that he told. I wonder, do you ever wish you could have magical powers? What magical ability would you want to have? Maybe you'd want the power to talk to animals, or maybe to turn into an animal. Maybe you'd want the ability to make food appear just out of thin air. Or maybe you'd want to fly around on a broomstick like Harry Potter and all of his friends. Over the last few months, my husband and I have gotten into this TV show and book series about a group of magicians. And many times these magicians use their magical abilities for really selfish reasons, like to steal money from banks or out of ATMs, or to hotwire cars, or to throw these lavish parties, and basically just to become more powerful magicians. I think that for most of us, that would probably be our tendency too if we had magical powers. We would use our powers for selfish reasons. But this was never the case for Jesus. All throughout the four Gospels, we have these stories of Jesus performing miracles. And miracles were supernatural acts or events that defied the laws of nature. These were acts that surpassed normal human abilities or powers. Now, the four gospel accounts record at least 37 specific miracles of Jesus, but we can guess that he probably did many more miracles that just didn't get recorded or written down. Now, Jesus was able to perform these miracles because he wasn't just a human, he was also God in the flesh here on earth. And even though Jesus had all this miraculous ability, he always used his power for good and to help and care for others. Many of his miracles involved healing people from their sicknesses or disabilities, including things like blindness or paralysis or skin diseases like leprosy. We'll learn about a few of those miracles later on in this series. Some of his other miracles were done to comfort people, like in their fear. Perhaps like when he was walking on water to meet the terrified disciples in their boat in the midst of a raging storm. He did this to meet them in their fear. He also used miracles to comfort people in their sadness, like when he raised a widow's only son from the dead or a couple's young daughter from the dead. At other times, Jesus' miracles showed his abundance, providing netfuls of fish and food for the hungry. There were even times when Jesus was tempted to use his power to provide for himself, such as when he was hungry and starving in the desert. He could have turned stones into bread, but he didn't. And there's another time when he was hanging on the cross, dying, and he could have saved himself, but he didn't, because Jesus never used his power for selfish reasons. For Jesus, miracles were never about showing off or displaying his power, because Jesus' miracles were more than just a party trick. Which is why he hesitated when it came to performing his very first miracle, which happened to be done at a party, a wedding in fact. So let's turn to our passage for today, which is found in John chapter 2, beginning in verse 1. On the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the celebration. When the wine ran out, Jesus' mother said to him, "They don't have any wine." Jesus replied, "Woman, what does that have to do with me? My time hasn't come yet." Now you can probably already see where this is going. The wedding hosts run out of wine. Jesus' mom notices the problem. And Jesus' mom, who knows that he is the Son of God, she knows that he can fix this problem through his miraculous abilities. So she mentions this to Jesus. But Jesus hesitates at first. He might be thinking, this isn't even my party, this isn't my problem, this isn't even my wine. I don't really want to get involved. He might also be thinking that this miracle would be seen as just a party trick. Is this really helping someone, or is this just a way for him to get the credit and the glory and the honor? Would this be seen as a selfish act, or would it be seen as something selfless and done for others? But here's the thing about Jewish weddings back in Jesus' day. They were a really big deal. They lasted several days, and they were a way for families to bring together the whole community for fellowship and celebration. And more than that, it would have been a huge deal if the hosts would have run out of wine or food. And we might be thinking, can't they just drink something else? Can't they just find some water to drink? But for this family, for these wedding hosts, it would have been a huge mark of shame and embarrassment. So this is truly a moment where Jesus can step in, help someone out, and allow this host family to continue to show hospitality to their neighbors and to the surrounding community. So let's keep reading and see what happens next. Let's see what Jesus is going to do. We're going to pick up in verse 5. His mother told the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby were 6 stone water jars used for the Jewish cleansing ritual, each able to hold about 20 or 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water," and they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw some from them and take it to the head waiter." And they did. The head waiter tasted the water that had become wine. He didn't know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. The head waiter called the groom and said, "Everyone serves the good wine first. They only bring out the second-rate wine only when the guests are drinking freely. You kept the good wine until now." This was the first miraculous sign that Jesus did in Cana of Galilee. He revealed his glory, and the disciples believed in him. So Jesus turned the water into wine. Now let's dig a little deeper and find out that there are some really important things that are happening here. Jesus not only solved the problem, but he solved it with an overabundance of wine. He goes above and beyond. 6 stone water jars used for Jewish cleansing rituals would have been close to 180 gallons. When Jesus provides for us, he provides in abundance. Yet at the same time, he didn't step in and claim all the credit and glory for himself. Only the servants knew where the wine had come from. And it seems like his disciples and of course his mother knew too. But the head waiter asked, "Where did this wine come from?" And no one spoke up. Jesus didn't stand up and try to take all the glory for himself, because his miracles were done to help others and provide for them, not just to brag about how awesome he was. And finally, because of this first miracles, his disciples began to believe that he was truly the Son of God. This was a big turning point in their own faith, and they began to trust God more through this miracle. They began to see that God truly would provide for them too. So now, what does this story have to do with us? I think there are a few key takeaways that we can learn from Jesus' first miracle of turning water into wine. Number 1, when we have the opportunity and the ability to help, are we going to step up? When we see someone else in need and we have the power and the capability to help them out, are we going to say, "This isn't my problem, this isn't my party, this isn't my wine," and turn away? Or like Jesus, can we say, "I can meet that need. I can help you out with that"? Maybe it's helping your mom around the house. Maybe it's helping a friend who's struggling with something in their life. Or maybe it's an elderly neighbor or a relative. Look around and see where there might be opportunities for you to step in and step up and help out. Number 2, are we okay with not receiving the credit and the glory for something? When Jesus solved the problem, he didn't seek the credit and the honor for it. The head waiter even asked, "Where did this wine come from?" And yet Jesus didn't say, "It was me, I did it." Jesus was content with helping others and not needing to be the center of attention. Now that's a really hard thing to do, but it's the mark of a servant leader, someone who serves and leads others, but doesn't need to be the one getting all the glory for it. And number 3, will we trust in God to provide and care for us? Will we trust God to meet our needs? Now, I don't necessarily think that miracles happen all the time today. I think that the big miracles were mostly for when Jesus was walking on the earth when he was a human. But I do think that God is still providing for us with everyday small miracles, calming our fears, meeting us when we are scared, providing for us in everyday ways, and giving us what we need, our daily bread. Jesus is still caring for us each and every day, in small and in big ways. So this week, our challenge for you is to be on the lookout for those ways that God is meeting your needs and the ways that you can solve the problems of others, meet the needs of others. Be on the lookout for the everyday miracles happening all around you in your own life. We're going to see you back next week as we look to our first parable and learn more about these amazing stories that Jesus used to teach others the deeper meanings in life.